and rolling. Next up, we've got Rabbit and Pork, which is a high-end agency out of the UK. Let me find John and promote him. John, how are you?
I'm good. Thank you very much, Bradley. I am here in London. It's sunny. Time to go to the pub soon. I'm going to have to.
You know, that's the thing about we knew putting something like this on Friday. Look, we know what we're doing. We're gonna get more people saying, "Hey, we'll watch this on recording." But hey, we're gonna get serious people are in here on a Friday, and that's definitely by design. John, thanks for being part of Project Voice Worldwide with us.
It's a pleasure to be here, and it's great to be listening to all the chats about Chattanooga before. We had a great time. Went to the baseball, the aquarium, walking along the river. So yeah, fond memories. Even though it was only a few weeks ago we were in Chattanooga. So looking forward to hopefully coming again in the future.
For sure, for sure. I have made you host. You can share your screen.
Yep. Let's go. So I'm following on a little bit from what James was talking about before around voice search, and my conversation is a little bit of a kind of there's a few problems with voice search at this moment in time. This is how we're solving it, but also it's kind of a plea out there to Amazon and Google to do some things that allows brands to kind of take an opportunity with, when people are asking questions about their products, etc. So first thing to obviously mention, I have to do this every presentation, Rabbit and Pork is Cockney rhyming slang for talk. So hopefully everybody who met us at Project Voice in Chattanooga knows that now. So yeah, it's Cockney rhyming slang for talk. So all about having a conversation with your customers. And this is just a few of the clients we've worked with, but we'll get straight into it. So as James was mentioning, it will probably come out in the report next week. Asking a question is still one of the most popular use cases for interacting with a smart speaker or and a voice assistant on a phone. A lot of people have taken, a traditional thing that they would have done on a laptop or on a computer, and now it's just their instance to talk to the device in the corner to ask that question. And with that, a lot of teams in the past have had so much data when it's come to search, whether you're doing search via organic or paid on Google. There's so much data out there about, how many people are searching for a particular phrase, where are they located, is there increasing intent, is there increasing searches, is this a search volume that goes down, does it happen once a year? And what appears in the search engine rankings. And for voice, there's a serious lack of data. So at the moment, we don't get any of these insights in terms of, how many people are searching on a daily basis, what are they searching for, what's the trends data. Very much web search data and voice search data are very much separate. So in order to answer this question, we've been using Alexa Answers. So for those who've not come across Alexa Answers, it's a repository where if you ask an Alexa device a question and Alexa can't answer, it will go into this community where Amazon customers can go in there and answer a question. So a little bit scary thought that there's out there that your smart speaker could be answering questions. There is moderation here. And what we did is we've been taking the information from this website from the US, Canada and the UK, scraping that information and then compiling it in order to get insights into what's happening. What are people searching for? What are the topics that people are interested in, and they're turning to their smart speaker to answers for. And interestingly, in 2021, there was about 250,000 questions that went onto the platform that were answered, and about 20 million shares. So it's overall a small selection of things that people ask in their smart speaker, but it's good enough to get some significant information and data. So the first thing to chat about is just some insights of, when we aggregate the data, what do we see? So first of all is that the typical length of a voice search is obviously longer than it would be when you're on web. It's quicker to say something than it is to type something. And interestingly, here in the UK, we seem to use a few more words when voice searching compared to the US or Canada. But everything that's going to be coming through on a voice search is going to be typically a longer phrase, a more conversational question. And they tend to follow the question like what. So what X, Y, and Z, and what's the best way to do X, Y, and Z, and then very much how, who, and what. And so we take this information, and when we're writing copy on our websites to optimize towards voice search, we make sure that our copy starts off with these questions. And when we're doing key phrase research, we'll take each one of these starting key phrases and think about what would the question start with if you put that in combination with your product. Time of the day was really interesting. So we don't really see too many stats like this, but because we've got so much information in there and we have the timestamps, we can actually see what voice search looks like, and therefore what does smart speaker usage look like typically over a day. So if there's early risers, 5, 6 in the morning, that's when you're getting up, starting to ask questions to Alexa, what's the weather going to be like? And then we can see it rises all the way to about 7, 8, 9 o'clock at night, when maybe people start to go to bed or start to watch TV, and they'll be using their Alexa devices less. We also see that little kicker at 2, 3 in the afternoon. So that's probably people coming home from school, or the kids coming home from school. But interestingly, we've got this data over 3 years, and we can actually see the impact that COVID had. So in the light grey line, we can see in 2019, a real dip in usage during the day. And then since COVID in 2020 and 2021, an increased amount of usage during the day. And this is what other skill providers and platform providers have also noted as well, is that usage has remained more steady during the day, and then not this morning and evening increases. And so what does demand look like? And we do actually get a little bit of this data, and we try and make it comparable to what traditionally a marketer would be looking at, which would be the monthly search volumes on the web. So how many people search for these key phrases? And so we can see that there are actually some key phrases which get more search on a voice platform than they would do on a website platform. So like, how long do I cook a 5-kilo turkey? We can see, you're averaging about 4,000 searches a month for that question. Where can I watch a particular series? We can start to see that there are some crossover. And then there'll be other key phrases where we've got more search volume on traditional web, but still a significant amount when you look at that percentage in comparison that people are asking these questions. And the questions range from all different types of topics that people are asking. So what's the opportunity for you as a brand? So what we find is that real life scenarios really spark a voice search. So it's something that's happening on the TV, who's that actress, or who's won this previous competition and sports competition. It's regular occurrences of events that happen through the week. So that's maybe the drawing of the national lottery. And so what time does it get drawn? How many numbers? Do I get any prize if I got this too many numbers? Something's happened, you've dropped something, cleaning, events. So all of those events that your content calendar might be planned to around the year. So that could be Easter, it could be Passover, it could be Christmas, it could be Valentine's Day. There'll be a peak of interest around those times. And then homework. Kids are obviously turning to Alexa to ask questions and get their answer to their homework, or just find out facts, or maybe it's an argument that needs settling with Alexa kind of being the judge. So take those kind of real life scenarios and think about how can your brand play a part in that, and what will the questions be? And also just recently, Alexa Answers groups have launched. These are groups of people that join a particular group, and then they're the experts in answering a particular set of questions. And some of these are quite generic, cat owners and dog owners, you'd expect them to be over there. We've got kind of people, talking about home DIY, air fryers, cleaning out the fridge. And then we've got even brands being mentioned, kind of Trader Joe's brands. So in those groups, there's some great insights and some great questions that are being asked, and then experts that are answering those questions. So it's really interesting that questions about a particular brand are being answered by the community. So where does the jurisdiction, what happens if the answer isn't something the brand likes? It's all really interesting topics to get into. So the opportunity we feel is kind of a branding opportunity. So when somebody asks a question, you've got the ability to answer that. So according to CSB Sports, so that's a nice mention of your brand. The brand then gets the answer over there. But really looking towards the future, we want to see Amazon and Google thinking about how can they move those searches over to a voice experience. And so at the moment, that's very much done with kind of Alexa skills. So the idea of Alexa, who are cornerbacks for the Tennessee Titans, and what we want to see there is Alexa going, oh, here's a skill that can answer it and continue that conversational experience. And really interesting would be, what does interoperability have the opportunity to do here? So if you've not come across the Open Voice Network, one of the groups that we participate in, and is looking at what happens if a brand can have a voice assistant that lives maybe on a different platform, it's built on the web, or it's their own assistant. Could that assistant be brought into the conversation to answer that question? And that could have great benefits for the user, being able to have a conversation with an agent that's really trained and honed into that particular answer. So yeah, going through the data, we found really good examples of, people asking for customer service help. So what's the numbers for Geico? What's the number for AT&T? And so from that, you can think about, well, we could have a voice app that can answer common questions, request a callback feature. We can use send to phone to send some information to the user's phone with the answers to their question or their policy documents. Or if we've got people that are asking questions about when their renewal dates, how can we account link with their online policy and then give that information back? Sifting through the data as well, we see loads of people asking questions about freezing. So can you freeze Yorkshire pudding, which is a delicacy here in the UK on a Sunday afternoon? Or can you freeze wine? So straight away, who should be owning that conversation? Should it be a food company? Should it be one of the companies that produce fridge freezers? And then how can you use Alexa's features to add a real rich interaction and delight your customers? So maybe that's, you can ask this voice app, can I freeze this? And then it sets a reminder for when you need to get that product out of your fridge, or you can set defrosting timers. So all of these ideas for a voice app can be sparked from that initial voice search data. So to end, the other thing is people ask Alexa crazy things. And so here's just a few of them. How many units of alcohol can a man drink? Do you have any final words? Which sounds like a kid who's about to smash their Alexa with a baseball bat. How many sloths are there in Scotland? I think there's only the ones in the zoo. Do dogs lay eggs? That's not true. Why do you use Google? Why don't you use Google search engine? So that agrees with most data that Alexa isn't great at answering questions in comparison to Google, although Google's got a little bit of a history in being able to answer questions. And then the last one, who's your daddy? Jeff Bezos. So I love that one, and loads of people ask that question. So to end, insights are a great way of thinking about developing a use voice case. Think about those real life scenarios and situations where people are using their Alexa devices, and how can you as a brand get involved in it? How can you then move it into a conversational experience and use the features of Alexa to make it richer? And those features will make your experience stand out from the competitors. Now, all the data in the voice search key phrase tool is free to use. It's there, it's on the website. So you can go to that URL, bit.ly/project voice, or scan this QR code on your screen right now. And in there, you'll see the questions, the categories, the answer. The data is uploaded every single month, and each month you'll see new insights of what people are searching for. So I think I said quite recently, loads of people asking for Wordle results, but I think Wordle's on the way out at this moment in time. So we'll see what next month has in store. We'll see what people are starting to ask Alexa. And so that's it. Hopefully we're on time and bringing up schedule. And I hope you enjoyed that presentation, Bradley, and everybody else.
John, that was great. Yeah, that was great. I'm going to hit reclaim host. So yeah, I love seeing the Tennessee Titans in your presentation. But I also would ask, who would need to ask who are the cornerbacks for the Titans? Shouldn't you just automatically know that? So I'm a little bit on the fence about that slide.
Well, I've got no idea. I mean, you guys are still calling it football when it's not.
No, we're not. We don't have enough time to go there. But then the very closely related queries to things about the Titans. How much alcohol can a man drink, and what are your last words? Any Titans fan probably is asking all of those things. John, great job, and the work y'all are doing is fantastic. There's not nearly enough thought and appreciation on the differentiation between voice search and web search, and what types of queries are asked in one venue relative to another one. And I think that's just, you're just scratching the surface. It's just the tip top of the iceberg. Kudos to you for the presentation. Thanks for being part of Project Voice Worldwide with us.
Thanks very much for inviting us, and looking forward to the rest of the presentations today.